So here on a horns, and again, if you look at this play right here, I think Chris Mack at Louisville got a lot of, they got into it a little bit different, but it's these, kind of rip screens with the ball in the corner. So again, if you can disguise your stuff and run a bunch of different options out of the same series, I think that helps. So we're going to get the ball to the corner, and then we're going to set a rip screen for whatever big you want to post. So again, we cross screen down here on the baseline. Jeremy's one of our better passes. This is where we're playing Jeremy at the 3, and we've got 2 shooting bigs in. James Reese, this is from, and he sets a great screen. We get Perkins in the post on that. So, all right, let me pause right now. We've kind of covered, that's not everything we've got in the box series and the horns, but it's a decent amount. Does anybody have questions? I guess Tom and Troy, you guys are kind of filtering the questions. Does anybody have a question on either of those series or not?
I'm looking through the questions right now. How do you coach the reads for each set, Coach? The reads for each set? So anyway,
all right, so that's a great question. Yeah, it's a really good question. So when we
inside hand, close your stance on the outside, snap your head, take away the ball with your inside hand. And we do this for, a minute, 2 minutes, every day in practice. And sometimes I'll throw them off and I'll throw the ball. This ball is going to be just outside the 3-point line. And at worst, we don't want this guy to lunge, but be in a position that this pass is completed, that he's in position to defend it. So here's how it looks in the game. One pass away, both players on the perimeter are in deny. They're in line to the ball. We got great ball pressure, great stance in the middle of the floor. We don't force the ball one way or the other. And when that pass is made, snap his head, throw his hand low. Most backdoor passes are bounce passes, and it gives you a great opportunity to come up with a deflection.
Rebounding is a big part of our practices. Drills, not a big drill guy. I'm not even sure I can explain our drills to you. They're my drills. I mean, they're just drills I do. I've always done them. I guess if you're more than welcome to come to our practices. That's the only way I can explain them to you. So, but that's our stat sheets. Those are the statistics that we are important. That's important to me, important to our program. Okay, let's move along. Shell drill. Shell drill is our Bible, B-I-B-L-E. Our Bible defensively is shell drill. If you can get your guys to be great in shell drill principles, you can apply it to full court transition defense, and then it will evolve right into half court defense. But there's 5 things we work on with every day. Well, that's a long time. That's every day, right? Well, we don't do this every day, but I do think we do it every day in the month of October up until our first game. Then we get a little sporadic. If we start getting loose or have slippage, I always go back to shell drill. But shell drill is the best way to teach. Where should you be based on where the ball is? Teach your stance, positioning, jump into the ball, making sure you don't get beat on straight line cuts. What happens on baseline drives? Who's the cutter? Who stops the ball? Who's the crack back? Who takes the first pass out? Teams that space slot to slot. What happens when you get beat on a slot drive? What does the corner guy do? Who's helping on the slot drive? And if somebody's helping, who's cracking back? We teach that. And then in our pick and roll defense, everything in our pick and roll defense we teach out of shell drill. So, okay, now this is early. This particular year, I don't think we're doing a great job here, but actually good. Okay, stop it right there.
So it's the same thing. John Wall hits and goes away, all right? We all know John Wall's going to get the ball back. He's getting it. All right, now we're set. Now here was a little rub cut to the corner. Instead of running that guy through, we rub cut it to the corner. We ran him through this time. So now the ball's reversing, and there's Brandon Knight, one-on-one. Again, One-on-one with space, Brandon Knight was scoring. Again, Tyrese Maxey by himself made that extra pass. Ashton, great pass to Nick. Same thing, Tyrese by himself. And we now slip out of that pick and roll for EJ to make that shot. All right, last play. Again, Ashton going through. We know we're throwing it to him there. Now a slip screen to give him space to get to that rim, and he was tough as nails. So, you know, as I show that to you, we've done it different ways.
Okay. Here is we're taking it out. Now you notice everybody's running. Stop right there, Rob. Stop. Okay, now run it back a little bit. See, Chris's job is to run down the middle of the floor. The ball has to be kicked up and somebody's ahead of you. You see that the guy's over in the weak side corner. Now Chris is kind of slowing up a little bit. He's wondering, should I set a drag screen or will Terrence be able to take the ball to the basket? For the most time, I want our center to be out in front of Terrence, but at this particular time, the ball's been kicked up to Terrence, and so Terrence sees that this is an opportunity for him on the baseline to attack. So this is our kick ahead system. So go ahead, play it, Rob. But hold it, stop right there. You see, he attacks, and three guys come to him. That's exactly what we want. Three guys rotating to him, and then you see Chris's right hand saying, give it to me. This is what we want. Go ahead. That all stars on the kick ahead. Everybody's running. We're looking. Stop right here. We have guys running to the corners, running for our spacing. You notice, stop right there. Number one was running down the lane, but his job is to get on out to the corner. So as he's going out to the corner, our five-man job is to run to the halo. We already got spaced over in the corner, and so somebody's going to be open. And obviously, it was our post guy running the post lane sprint.
Awesome. And again, this is just going to be, kind of hopefully a fun, interactive discussion. Really, ways that we use analytics within our program. Some will be pretty high level. Some will be more focused. And let me see. As we go through this, the first here, break it down into three segments. Really, the first part will just be really defining analytics, and I think that's really important. I have a great 1-minute soundbite of Charles Barkley that I'm going to play here shortly. Kind of get into why I'm a believer of analytics and why it's played such an important part in my growth as a basketball player and now as a coach, and take a deeper dive into that. And then we'll talk about how we use it at the University of San Francisco in game. We have about three different ways that we'll talk about today, and you'll see there. We'll go through our 2-for-1s, talk about fouling or not fouling in games, and then one thing that we really like, which we call 2-foul participation. We'll talk about those things. And then in terms of developing our program, so off-court stuff, I'm going to talk very briefly and very high level about Hustle Stats, which was developed by Kyle Smith at San Diego, and then him and Randy Bennett both really drove it home when they were building that program at St. Mary's, and some of the things that we've changed along the way to what we think is improve it a little bit. And then other areas in our program where we collect data and how we use it in recruiting, scheduling, different things like that. All right. So